Hello there, beloved Ascension Pioneers. Welcome to my last video update before my summer holiday. And I wanted to make it an Ascension update with different topics so that I can cover the most that is happening and that I'm tuning into at this time before I leave. And I want to say that this time, especially this month, brings a lot of change. And for me personally, I would like this holiday time to be much about the integration of really being in the flow. So when you're totally surrendered to Mother Nature, to life, to carry you each step of the way. Because a lot of us, we trust when things seem right and feel easy. But when something comes and looks more challenging, then we have issues in trusting. Like, for example, somebody mentioned this lately, having money on the bank account, until that is like that, you trust, and then it feels drained and you don't know what to do next, and you don't trust. So this is something that on a deep ground level, I feel I desire myself personally to activate. As you know, we on this path of the new, creating this new ascended reality, we are the masters of this. We are the ones who are paving the way. There's nobody else. Those of us who are choosing this path are the ones to do it. There's also souls who are not choosing this path and rather stay in the comfort zone and that which feels safe and familiar and known. So we got to cherish those decisions as they are made through their own soul awareness. But as you know, our own soul awareness is increasing so much, so we got to stay in flow with that. Let's say, for example, that in the new, we really manifest things through our magnetic resonance. That means that when your overall dimensional awareness shifts and you no longer exist in the old and you're still trying to manifest from that space, like people try to control through the law of attraction and all these old control-based programs that are still programs. We're not fully free until we have no running programs, but we really just trust our source in each now moment. This is something that needs to be felt and experienced. Lately I talked to somebody who said something nice. They said, I know all of this, but it's not yet my experience. So there's people who are very much in the wishful thinking, they think they got it all figured out. And there's people who are just fair to themselves and say, you know what, I know this, but I haven't yet embodied it. And this is important for us to be fully honest. If we want to make the next steps, then this is what has to unfold. We got to really see, okay, what do I yet need to embody as a pioneer? As a spirit who's bringing this space and the infinite potential of the new, while I carry these codes and I embody them myself. This is really important. So for me, I was walking this path today, and it was a non-marked path, and each step of the moment you don't know where you're going to go. Where is it going to turn left or right? Is it going to end? And a lot of times I take these paths that are not mapped, and they always give me a sense of that energy when you just really surrendered and you say, well, I will climb that peak, or I will go to that top, and your day turns out completely different. Or you have a plan to do something and then the weather changes, and what are you going to do then? And let's say you don't have a comfortable space where you can just wait it out, and there's something here that we really need to integrate on the level of our primal instincts that are now becoming embodied more in a sense through our I am leading us. So it's spirit merging with our human self, and we're becoming this new version of ourselves that is completely trusting, even if you don't know where you're going next. Sometimes the path will be clear ahead, sometimes it won't, but in either way we gotta have that trust in the same manner. So this was a nice test today. It was kind of like preparing me for where I wish to go next. And only you know where you wish to go next. So when you're creating this new reality for yourself, you got to know what you desire, and then really see, okay, where am I really not yet embodying all of this? And what are the aspects that I do feel I have shifted so much into? Because the last few days, the energies coming through this planet, this was especially, as you know, after the solstice light influx, there was so much intensity. There were really beautiful energies coming, and there was just so much happening. And for me personally as well, there was just so much all at once. And we needed more of that downtime, of that integration space, which is now going to be available this month. And we just got to seize the opportunity, go with the flow, because each master had their 40 days in the desert. That's what you need sometimes to really culminate the experience, move to the next phase. When the energy is drained on some level, it's not that you're doing something wrong, it's just that you're in the transition phase before a new opening. And when the opening comes, you will know it, you will recognize it, and you'll be, of course, asked to step through it. So like I said, it's important because the energies were so intense. So they were coming here. They were coming to really show us where we are still acting from that old, where we can have the opportunities of the new and seize them. A lot of times our mind wasn't ready and it kept saying, oh no, oh gosh, that reminds me of something old that I already went through. But remember, you integrated so much that now it's different. The experience might have some similar connotations to it, but it's not going to be the same exact match. And there won't be no expansion without us just at least trying. If it doesn't fit us, it's okay. Like I said, and I shared this week, in the new, we're like playing with different options. Something fit, okay, something doesn't fit. And it's like, from that, you will learn to better choose for yourself without just thinking you have one limited option. You will see many different variables to it. And so somebody said to me recently, how can I shift this money thing? How can I be more attuned to my natural flow? And like I said, sometimes when the energy is just, there are many different things that can really be important here. One of them, like I said, is to know that when your divine purpose shifts, so will you. You will also transition. So something new will be required of you. And when the energy is drained at a certain point, at a certain experience, it means like there's no more flow there. I've actually looked at all the resources on that level. I've actually wasted all. I've tried everything, and at this point I'm just surrendering and waiting for something to show up as a new opportunity. Another point is when you really have those patterns which are just sabotaging you in a way that you limit yourself, to infinite abundance and all of that. So these are different things that can really take place. So without your own internal clarity, you will never really fully know what is what. So you can try, you can see if you make changes on a certain aspect, but there's no result. You say, maybe it's not that, maybe it's something else. And it's okay. Sometimes we won't get it with the first step. And this is what's a part of this experience, because we're all learning and growing as we go along the way. So like I've shared, there were so many energies coming through in the past maybe 2 weeks, after the solstice, of course. Because I don't know, I just sat down sometimes with really nothing, and it was just pouring through my palms. I began buzzing and vibrating, and I knew that something is really happening. You can feel when Gaia is starting to pulsate with that new light that begins to integrate, and you do it the same way because you're connected as one. So I brought my notebook with me for the last time now to really see some of the insights that we can go through together, and I hope that I can give you as much as I can in this video before I leave for my holiday, and then I don't know what's going to happen next, which is, like I said, the beauty of surrender. This is where we are now. A lot of us are there, and we know that there will be no change unless we really surrender to the deepest levels. So what's happening is, with this process, I've noticed that there was a lot of people coming together at this time, even people who already felt like they were together, but like in a new way they connected. And there's soul groups with a purpose that are coming together. They're building these fellowships and like closure in what they need to do at this point. And I call this energy, I felt recently, it was a lot about the disciples energy, the devotees of light. So those who are truly devoted coming together. There's those who are not, they're just falling away, like the remnants of last year's snow. And what's happening is, because our services are expanding, I need to share that when you serve on a particular level, and that everybody does in a way, but when I say service to all life in creation, it means that when you shift to that soul awareness, when you start plugging into the bigger picture, you start embodying that, so your service expands as well. A lot of times on this path of awakening, there were souls trying to wake those next to them, and only were dealing with our friends and family, so their service was very much enclosed in this box, and they thought they needed to do something with a particular group of people, and they said, I'm serving them. But what happens is, when your service becomes universal, it expands to the level that it becomes grander, and it's not so much personal, it's more like collective, and you start to magnetize and energize and vibrate out on a totally different level. So this is all about the expansion of our purpose, And like I said, we were always serving, but in the new, in the expanded self, this constantly grows, and you feel how your mission is becoming something more of a like a collective, serving the group collective. You start focusing less on just a few individuals. You say, I'm serving these people, and you just lose interest in that, and you start really getting the bigger picture inside of you, and you want to be a part of something bigger. And relationships are becoming less personalized as well, built through those personal egoic desires, like I want this, I want you to be romantic with me, instead of what we can contribute together with our partnerships to the greater partnership of all. So this is becoming with those of us so it becomes less personal, and is based more on the service of all life and creation. Also, with the shifting purpose, I'm sorry, you gotta excuse me, I was eating some nuts before, so I still have probably some leftovers. With our shifting purpose, and this is going to be expanding, especially in this second half of the year, because the energy of the second half of the year, like I've said in my monthly podcast via Elven Singing and Toning, if you listen to that, you still can, and I shared about that this month, and this energy now that we're walking through, it feels like walking through a curtain like this, into a new life. This is how it feels. So the second part of the year will ask even more devotion, even more dedication to what really we feel is of greater importance, not just for us personally. So what else? So there's going to be, like I said, more attainment and self-responsibility leading to self-mastery. So those who are really stepping further into self-mastery are going to feel this greater calling, which is beyond, I want to attract this, I want to attract a soulmate, I want to attract this. And, to those true devotees of light who are here to serve the planet and the universe and the cosmos and all that is, they're just becoming more attuned to that greater. And like I said, they're focused on how to really collectively make an impact that is service oriented towards something bigger. I will give you an example. My mother always was saying to me that she feels so devoted to me, like since forever, that she felt we have this soul pact. And she always is so called to assist me with things so that I can, focus on what I'm doing with this, so that I can do a lot of writing about it, to just sit with myself, to go out, to hike, to get this guidance, to receive, and to just share in all of the ways that I do. And she always shares with me that she feels so compelled to do it. And sometimes I say, you don't need to do those things if you don't want to. And she's always saying, I do want to, I love it. And she's so committed. And I said to her last week, I said, you are a true disciple, aren't you? And she said, I know I am, And the thing is that she doesn't serve me personally. That's how it maybe looks, in the lower perspective. Not so much expanded, but when you shift, you will see that with that, with the contribution that I'm making, that she's making, it's impacting the greater whole. So together we're more strong and more powerful than just, standing as individuals, doing each our own thing. So each will have their own gifts and contributions, but will impact the greater whole. So my service also expands if somebody serves me in a way that they help me with things that, my focus is somewhere else. So this is what I'm talking about, building of these relationships that are soul-based, that are awareness-based, and that are like contribution to the whole melting pot that is. So this is the energy, like I feel, of, the disciples, the devotees to light, and of true dedication and mastery. This is where the white light of unity of Ascension flame comes in. Like I've shared a few months ago, that I finally, really remembered how this is my ray of incarnation. And you have to know that each soul, when you incarnate, when you become this personality self-image, of the mirror of your soul, you embody on a particular ray, and it is a particular ray for you. That's why in the yogic tradition they have different yogas, so you can choose, as a disciple, to study what is more in alignment with your soul. And in the Western cultures, we don't even have that. So a lot of that was kind of like lost or forgotten. But it's so natural that you follow in the direction that more supports your variation of creation and the purpose you serve. So I was really encouraging people at that time to look into their own self, to find their uniqueness. These are not the things that you wish to be. sometimes when I look at some people, they say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm, you know, and when I look at them, Spirit just shares with me, they say they don't even know what that means yet. So, the wishy-washy, you know, I want to be something, it doesn't really, it's not really connected with that, with self-mastery. When you realize, and you look at your life, how you always were, the things you always were doing, that kind of the way you were creating, they always show this already. It's already there. It's out in the open. So, for example, the white ray of dedication, I was just reading about it last week, and then Serapis Bey, the overlighting master of this ray, together with the light of the Mother and the Shekinah, the Holy Spirit. And I was really looking at the text, was this short text about how fierce his disciples are, you know, how devoted they are, how committed. And I was always this way all my life. You know, I never had that, you know, more gentle energy. It's okay, it's okay. I always had the, no, come on, just do it, no excuses. You know, I always had that push energy. I triggered people in that kind of way, because that's who I am, you know. Even when you look at the cards, you know, Serapis Bey is represented as the, you know, go now, you know, just do it, you know, no more procrastination, no excuses. You're the disciple, you're the master, do it. This is what the white flame does. It looks like, ooh, white light. Remember, it can trigger so much, because once you enter that light, and you just see things as they are clearly. And when you do, that means you have some decisions to make, you know, to really align yourself with that. Also, the white light is, the white ray serves as the connecting link for all other rays. So it's kind of like this melting pot. That is why even after I remember that, I still had some difficulty embracing some of the things, because I said I feel so connected to all these rays and these purposes and all of that, and I bring so many people together, and I invite so many people to the sacred space in the Ascension Pioneers community. And one day I remember I saw this paragraph in one of the booklets, and this is where it was. That's all I needed to read. It was that it's a link for all of these rays, and they're all functioning as one. So there's this Star of David. They're each on its own, you know, component and on its own direction, and the white ray is in the middle, so it connects animals, I guess. Hope it's not a bear. So, this is really important. The white light, it's also the Shekinah. It's connected with the white brotherhood of light. These are the ones who serve all life in creation, like I said, and whose purpose is universal. It's oriented towards this cosmic service. And also this connection is with the light of the seraphim, the creation angels. And this all kind of really makes sense now, and the more we get this, the more we will see that it really is important to remember the way our energy works, you know, and how we can better stabilize that, and how we can better harmonize that. We can't do that if we want to think we are, you know, something, but the truth is something different, because your energy signature will never lie. Even if you still don't understand things fully, your energy is still the way it is. And it's all about activating that potential. So when you're incarnated on this special ray, it will bring your unique gifts through, it will bring your uniqueness through. And you can't really do it in a grander sense before you fully awaken to that. And then the path becomes, like I said, more narrow and narrow. You know, in the beginning you might be more of a seeker, you know, people are asking all these sorts of questions and things. So when you become a knower, you know. Sometimes people say to me, how do you know things? Like what do you need to do? You know, you're so strong in this knowing. It's because once you really remember, you cannot forget again, and you have no other choice but to walk that divine will. So it's like a straight path, and the straighter it is, the more aware it is, the more narrow it gets. But at the same time, it's more aligned, so things feel like more blissful. And people ask you, how's that possible for you? You know, are you just lucky? Remember, nothing just happens. All my life, I was totally devoted to this, even before I knew about it. I was always, you know, I remember we used to have these seminars in school, and nobody was really interested. And they just sat and talked, and nobody would do anything if I wouldn't, you know, come and say, wait a minute, we got some work to do. You do this, you do that, you do that. You know, it was always that connecting link, and, you know, it's like, it's okay, you know, be playful, have fun, enjoy life, but at the same time, there's nothing without commitment, even commitment to that fun. Everything is related through commitment. Everything becomes through that commitment. So this is becoming really important. And remember, those who are in that same resonance, who really are eager to know, to learn more, to expand more, these will come together, you know, these people. Okay, what else? So, yes, this is, like I said, this is that energy when you just do it. You know, a lot of people say they have an issue of not fully knowing their purpose, but most people know their purpose. It's natural. It's engraved within you. It's just you don't trust it. You know, people seek this connection with Source, and it's already there, and it becomes so funny. You know, when you're like, oh, you know, please, you know, can I be more connected? In a way, you just need to open up to see how this connection comes through you. So when I will be working with people more personally, you know, in the phase of my life when I will already be doing the retreats, I really want to assist people to really recognize how that guidance comes uniquely through them, how that connection is expressed through them. You know, not make people believe that it's like you got to walk this path before you can be really connected to Source. It's more about how you really embody it, how you become the living manifestation of it. That's the whole thing. And so these connections also bring, you know, the true devotees, they bring the highest integrity. When you really are in that energy, all you wish is that integrity. You don't want to do things that are purposeful, that are without purpose, you know. So you want to do things that are purposeful and committed. And you really know what you want of your experience. Like, you know, when I'm going now on this holiday, I'm not just thinking I want a holiday to just relax. Well, a part of that is relaxing, is retreating to really nurture myself into this new next wave. But a huge part of that is also, what will this give me that I can better use in advancement of my service? And these are the questions that we should always be asking ourselves. So, yes, everything becomes purpose oriented. Nothing is like fluffy or, you know, just doing it for no reason. It becomes like a straight path, you know. It feels like serious energy, but it doesn't mean you as a person are only serious. It just means that things that you understand that need this seriousness, that, you know, for you to integrate your spirit, then you do them. Doesn't mean you will become a boring, not interesting and not funny or goofy person, you know. That's not the same. But you never consider your purpose as anything separate. You know, your life becomes your purpose. All of it. Whatever you do. So, this was the example, like I said, with my mother. Like she said, she was serving me, but in fact, because I serve the one, I serve the whole, she serves that as well. Sometimes we don't have that perspective, and people think I'm not really doing anything because they're not speaking about the things, for example, that I'm speaking about, but it has nothing to do with this. Because a divine purpose doesn't mean that you'll be each doing the same thing. It means that you will be doing things through the highest order of integrity and alignment with your unique soul. So these connections and the right people coming together, serving as one, are really important, because the greater whole, as you know, has a much bigger impact than just a few standing alone individuals. And I realized how much these fellowships are important, and it's time for us to really embrace them, because this is the step of the new. We will each, of course, remain our individuality. That is why a lot of times we needed to be alone, to embrace that uniqueness, so that we don't compromise it for something else. The oneness, the unity consciousness is not about compromise. It is about each particle that is a part of that equation, that they find a resonating space that fits all. So that's what the playing energy feels like. Like I said, playing with different options. First option maybe doesn't feel right. Try second one, third one. Ooh, you know, until you get it right. Like molding with the clay. This is how it feels. So, these intense energy, like I've been saying, these were intense light downloads, and it will help us to sweep off anything that's still maybe not complete trust, complete surrender, and all of those things that even, you know, they still show in our own bodies. So the more that you will go with the flow, the more you will see how your body is handling this so nicely, how everything in your chakric alignment is becoming more in flow. And it's just you will feel so much light. And to really wrap this up, remember, I was already saying that we notice this, and these changes, we can notice them in nature as well, because when I'm hiking and I'm exploring and, you know, especially immersing with my beautiful rock kingdom, I'm just noticing these beautiful crystalline rocks that are just forming, and Spirit showed me this has to do with the water, because as you know, the mountains are portals of light. They connect all the power chakras of the planet, and they're like these lane lines. And what happens is, as you know, the water always emanates in the mountains first. There's the animals there. Interesting. I'm sorry. The woods is really a fun place to be. It's full of sounds. So when the water at that portal, where it emanates first, it because the portal opens up, there's new light pouring in, and it's connected, you know, from the ethereal retreats and the spaces of light down to the hollow earth. It's like this grid, you know, that's always flowing. And then the water, because it, you know, starts to run, flow there physically in the mountains, it gets more purified. So it's through these main veins of the mountains, it flows down. And because the water is more purified, refined, kind of like more refined, think of it that way. So it touches the stones, and especially those stones that have like holes inside of them, and you know, it's limestone, and with connection with the water, they begin to get crystallized. So this is really important, and it kind of shows what's happening with us and our own process. So we're becoming more refined each time, so therefore our decisions need to be more refined. And I'm noticing just today we were hiking, you know, our usual spot here. We have this lodge, and there's, you know, the weekend, and there's all people and crowds, and I'm just noticing I just can't be in that space anymore. Sometimes I maybe used to, you know, maybe sit there for a while and just, and I was just getting more and more difficult to really be that way. It's not that we would be so sensitive that we couldn't handle it. It's just that we don't choose it. It doesn't bring us joy. It feels weird. It really feels so different. And we love this space of purity and pure spaces and these corners of Gaia that are completely isolated. And I want this to be a part of my trip when I'll be taking these hikes. So I hope it will be as adventurous that it can. And in the meantime, when I'm not online, please, you know, to respect that. I need that time to really begin a new phase as well, as we all do. If you're going to have some interesting retreat moments, I'm wishing you happy holidays as well. I will see you soon. I don't know when that will be, like I said, because I want to enter this in full surrender. I feel this needs to be integrated so we can really embody it and show others how to do it. You know, that's why we're here. And I will see you when I will see you. And when I'm back, my personal services will be back as well. For now, it is as it is. And I really wish you to use this time for these changes, to really see where you can make them, you know, without fears. And remember, you are the master of your experience, and mastery is all about responsibility. You can know things, but it doesn't really become your experience unless you really live it. So that's what we're doing each step of the way. I'm sending you so many blessings for this month, and like I said, I will see you soon. Until the next update, maybe, I don't know, I'm going to do some mountain videos. I'm not yet sure, because like I said, I'm not going to make any promises. I'm only going to be centered in now and with the Gaia. So yeah, that's it for today. So much love, wisdom, and power. Take care. Bye-bye. He's just looking at me. He's not going anywhere. Come on. Go your way. Yeah, he knows I'm lost. Come on. Come on, sweetie. Look, I'm going to show you how gracefully they move. He doesn't feel scared at all. Look at him. How cute. Just standing, probably waiting for what I will do. How cute is that? Come on. No? Probably deciding what to do. Oh. Seen these before, and they're really not so scared. Well, then I guess that's it. He's just gonna stay there. Well, I took my unmarked path. There's many of them going crisscross, and I found this beautiful space. So, in this last few seconds, I wish you so many beautiful, uncharted territories that you will feel with your own divine light. So know that wherever you go, walk with golden footsteps. Be aware, be present, listen to what the Mother has to say to you. There will be messages everywhere, and Spirit sending you confirmations and guidance, for the next step and the next one, and so it will be. And enjoy.